has lineage, that has authority, that has sovereignty, is allowing that to take place, allowing that to come through. So that's why I use the greeting. So currently, we are seeing that there are all sorts of shenanigans going on around us. And these shenanigans are, do you remember the crisis a week ago, was it, or 10 days ago? Oh my God, where's all the petrol gone, right? And then, oh my God, where have all the drivers gone? And it's the French to blame, damn you, and just one after another. And we said that you will see that there's a pattern emerging. And this pattern that's emerging is a pattern that creates uncertainty, a pattern that creates an emotional response in you. And that emotion has two components that I think are quite obvious now. One of them is the impact it has on you in terms of your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health or physiological health. But most importantly, now in this time, your transpersonal health, health beyond your ego, health beyond the delusion of control. Yeah. And it has implications. So we are, as a culture, as humanity, as society, in this space where uncertainty that is orchestrated in order to create a response that has an emotional component, and then you can use that emotional component to your advantage or disadvantage. Yeah? See how it works? And if we look around us, we will see that these unfolding crises they have a process from where it begins with a shock, right? Begins with a shock to wake you up to it. Like, hey, oh my God, swine flu. Do you remember that one? Oh my God, pigs are flying. Woof, swine flu. That shock then unfolds. And they can maintain it so long as you plugged in a system. And the system we are plugged in is a system that's parasitic. It's important to realize that now. This is what we're waking up to. When the church in one country is responsible for the abuse of 330,000 children, you got to understand things ain't right. When those who are unprotected need to take certain actions to protect the ones that are protected, where's the logic? Where's the logic? You can't deny logic. You can't deny what is. You may believe something. I may wish to identify myself as, I don't know, a Martian or whatever. Who cares? Who cares? The reality of the situation is, me, like you, all of us, are a happening in time. There is no past. You can't go anywhere there. You can't go anywhere in the future. You are embedded in the now. And in that embedded in the now, our minds are used through stimulus in order to create certain reactions, which ultimately damage your health. Because the mind is connected to the body. That's all there is to it. When you get scared, your heart beats faster. That's the first clue. The mind and the body are connected. Because we don't have an understanding of the mind and how it's connected to the body and how this is not taught. That's the other incredible thing. It's not taught. The brain is identified in the biomedical model the same as the mind. And there are no distinctions between consciousness and mind. So these things don't exist in this paradigm. So when you bring another understanding that is experiential, you can experience it. Those can share it with you, those who have gone through the process. If you haven't learned how to cook, you can't teach me. Do you see what I'm saying? So that importance in our own experience brings us to this new worldview in which there is an understanding of the mind, clear, that you can experience for yourself. There's an understanding that the mind is connected to the body physiology, your nervous system, your hormonal system, your system, your immunity, and your electromagnetic field, right? At least, well, maybe one more, biochemical. Yeah. So you've got all these components that the mind affects immediately, not the brain, the mind. There's a big difference. So when you don't know the difference between the mind and the brain, there's level of confusion. So let's look at the mind. The mind is what you are programmed with. That's it. It's the bit that is programmed. It's programmed through your language, same as we software. You're programmed through your language, given instructions to think in certain ways, given instructions to believe in stuff that is someone else's story. So as a result, this mind creates itself an identity. This identity we can affectionately call the ego, right? But that's a loose term. So this identity is very easily manipulated. You can make it a religious identity. You can make it a anti-vax identity, a vax identity, a believer, a non. It doesn't matter. These identities then can be poked and prodded, and as a result, you experience emotions. All right. Stage one, understanding that you are all embedded, like I am, in a system, not existence, a system, a created system that's parasitic, a parasite. It's important to know that word, parasite. Expense of your health, expense of your resources, expense of your life. So all the work that you will have done in your work, in your entire life, will be measured in numbers. That's it. That's it. Your expense, someone else's advantage, parasitic. The health system is parasitic because it doesn't cure, it gives you, it's a treatment center. Your schooling is a treatment center. It allows us to be treated in a way such that we are told what to think, not how to think. All the way right to PhD. That you have worldviews that determine whether your PhD is acceptable. So if I've been brought up in a culture that believes in aliens, or a culture that is completely devoid of anything other than just their materialistic worldview, and someone brings me a PhD on paranormal channeling, because it doesn't exist in my worldview, the PhD doesn't exist. So knowledge is parasitic. It's controlled by the journals, it's controlled by the universities, it's controlled by the school, and it's controlled by the language. Right? So we begin to see things for what they are. Stage one, we begin to see, parasitic, parasitic, parasitic. Anything that creates a harm in you is parasitic. So when you are all of a sudden opening the paper and this rush of fear comes in, or you hear the news, or you hear someone telling you the sky is falling, or whatever the next crisis is going to be, that immediate shock There will just be more and more of them. It's important to realize what it does to us and how to come out of it. How to come out of it so you have clarity of mind. Because now, in this time, as we have been telling you for the last 14 months, things are only going to get more and more squeezed because it has to get to that point until people wake up to their delusion of saying, you've been taken for a ride. That's all there is to it, right? Once you know you've been betrayed, you can deal with it. They all have. Whether we accept it or not, they all have. The education system, the health system, the economic system, the politicians are parasitic. Of 200,000 quid for a year, but you can't give 20 quid to a family on universal credits. I mean, parasitic or what? So, either as humanity wakes up to this delusion, or it'll be done for us. It'll be done for us where we can't deny it. So, all the work that we have been doing, everything that we are channeling, is to ensure that you navigate through this. It's not a big deal, it ain't going to last for that long, but it is a crisis point for humanity to move into a different way of thinking about. And we are truly blessed to be actually witnessing this. Otherwise, life was just boring. Do you remember those days? Before the curve. Do you remember those days? Could go on holidays, boring. Yeah. Meet friends, boring. And you say, oh God, not them again. Do you remember we used to complain? Now life is a little bit more exciting, thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It's exciting. We approach it with that excitement. We approach it like kids looking at it and saying, wow, this looks like fun. Change our attitude, which will change our perspective, which will change our behavior. And that impacts our emotions. Yeah? Does it all make sense or none of it? But remember, whenever something happens, put them in the parasitic. Are they parasitic or not? Then you know where they're coming from. Because the system is layered and each layer feeds on the one below. And we just happen to be one of the layers. And there are others, third world countries, developing countries. Just go to any of the countries that we come from. You've seen the poverty. Yeah. Check this out. So the British government bought masks for, I think, 5 quid a mask, probably made by children in Bangladesh, paid a couple of pennies a day. Yeah. If this ain't parasitic, what is? If feeding on people's fear isn't parasitic, then what is? Yeah. Once you see the parasite, this is the first clue. Once you see the parasite, you can remove it. But if you don't see it, it will be at your expense. That's really where we as humanity are now coming in. Okay, shall we do some meditation? Yeah, meditation. Stop talking. Okay. So, again, in this meditation, relating it to all that is happening and can happen and everything takes place in the crucible of your mind or the screen of your mind. So, meditation is a way of detaching from our thoughts, from our emotional states, and from our sensations, and get to a point where we can experience what I would call our essential self, our essence, what we're all about. So, eyes are closed, mouth is closed. Stretch your back upwards. It's important to sit a little bit alert. That attitude of being alert should be reflected both in the body and the mind. That I am sitting alert, and that means I am sitting here with an intention to do something. And the intention is I'm simply will be present to my experience, my experience of life right now. And if you just imagine that someone is pulling you by your hair upwards, you'll find that your neck, head, and spine tend to align. So I don't want you to feel rigid, but you need to feel erect within yourself. Okay? As you breathe in, bringing your focus now to getting a sense of your body. So you're not thinking about your body, you're not imagining your body, you're not picturing it, you're simply sensing yourself, looking at yourself, locating yourself to the body at this stage. And you may find that while you are sensing your body, there isn't a definition as such, meaning there isn't an outline to the body as such, but it's a sense, there's a fuzziness to it, perhaps. Okay. Next breath in, we bring our focus to our inner space. And by inner space, we are looking at our mental activity. So there may be a thought there. And just note the nature of the mind, meaning how does the mind feel? Do you feel stressed? Do you feel anxious? Does the mind feel tired? Your mental space, so to speak. And then bringing your focus towards your chest and just get a sense of how you feel at this moment. Okay. So we're going to come back here again. So as you breathe in again, now bring your focus to the point at which your body makes contact with what you're sitting on. So you're sitting on a chair or the floor. You will notice that there are sensations within your body where the body makes contact with what you're sitting on. See if you can bring your focus to those sensations. Now, using your intention, allow this awareness to move up towards your hips. Doing it very systematically. Once again, just sensing this part of the body, noting any sensations that may be dominant. And then as you breathe out again, move your focus down your thighs towards your knees. From your knees, we bring your focus down towards our ankles. From your ankles, and then move your awareness to the soles of your feet. Next breath in, bring your focus back to the chair or the floor you're sitting on. Notice the back. Notice if the back feels straight and upright. And see if there's any dominant sensation present on the back at the moment. As you breathe in, bring your focus up, moving from your lower back to your middle back. Again, note any sensations that may be present. Next breath in, bring your focus up towards your shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. As you breathe out, bring your focus down to your elbows. Next breath out, moving your focus to your wrists. Noticing the palms of your hands. Noticing the fingers on your hands. Next breath in, bring your focus towards your eyes, noticing the sensations around your eyes, and then noticing the darkness. And as you notice the darkness, the realization of being aware. It is this awareness that can see the darkness, so to speak. As you breathe out, allow your eyes to relax and soften. Next breath in, bring your focus towards your mouth. Notice your tongue. Does it seem firm or does it seem soft? Allow it to soften. Notice the sensations on the roof of your mouth, inside your cheeks. And then as you breathe out, allow your face to soften and relax. As the breath comes in, once again, become aware of your body as best as you can. Notice any dominant sensations, tightness, an ache, a pain, an itch. Bringing your focus to your inner space. Notice the mental activity. Bringing your focus now towards your chest. Hold it there. Notice the movement of the chest in rhythm with the breath. And as you hold your focus there, how do you feel in this moment right now? Right this moment. Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel agitated? Is this moment for you comfortable and pleasant? Is this moment for you uncomfortable, unpleasant? Just this moment. On your next breath out, begin to listen to the sounds around you. When you're ready, bring your focus just beneath your nose. Begin to watch your breath. Simply watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out, allowing the breath to breathe by. If you find that your focus has been distracted by a thought or sound, a sensation, notice the distraction, gently but firmly coming back to your breath. Holding your commitment and intention to hold your focus. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Allow the breath. Begin to notice that your breath has four parts to it. There's an in-breath that comes in and it stops. There's a tiny little gap, an out-breath that comes in, starts and it stops. And there's a gap at the end of it. See if you can notice these four parts of your breath. Watching the in-breath move in, stop. Notice the gap, out-breath moving out, stop. Noticing the gap. Following your out-breath all the way till the end, notice the gap. Notice how long the gap lasts before the in-breath begins. Allowing each out-breath to move deeper and deeper in, alert yet relaxed. Stay with your breath. Following your breath all the way till the end. Stay with your breath. Notice how you're breathing now. Stay with your breath. On your next breath out, begin to listen to the sounds around you. allowing the noise and the sound to come to you. No judgment, no commentary, simply listening. Stay with the sound. When you're ready, bring your focus back just beneath your nose and begin to watch your breath again. Stay with your breath. Once again, following your out breath all the way to the end. Notice how you're breathing now. Does your breath feel light or does it feel heavy? How does your breath feel now? Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel fast or does it feel slow? Does your breath feel long or does it feel short? Now, as best as you can, bring your focus to the sound of your breath. Try and listen to the in-breath as it comes in. Try and listen to the out-breath as it goes out, allowing the breath to breathe by itself. Stay with your breath, listening to the in-breath as it comes in, listening to the out-breath as it goes out. On your next breath out, once again, just open your awareness to all sounds around you. Allow the sounds, the noises to come to you. Try not to look for them. listening. Listening to the sound of this bell and see if you can emerge with the silence at the end of the bell. Simply listening. Listening. And once more, just listening. Bringing your focus to your experience. Notice how you feel. Notice what the mind is doing. If there's stillness, focus on the stillness. If there's peace, focus on the peace. We have thoughts, but we are not our thoughts. We have sensations, we are not our sensations. We have emotions, we're not our emotions. What remains is awareness. That which is aware of your experience right now is what I mean by awareness. Recognize that. When you're ready, gently bring your focus beneath your nose. Sit with your breath. Next breath out. Expand so you can sense your body. Notice you're still sitting in the same place you began. Notice how the body feels. Does it feel so? Notice you can still sense where your body makes contact with the chair or the floor. You can sense your thighs. From your knees, you can sense all the way down to your feet. And you can even sense the ground beneath your feet. Your back is straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed. Your eyes are still closed. Your mouth is still closed. And your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. And now as the breath comes in, you can sense your body. As the breath goes out, you can sense your body. In a moment, you will hear the sound of another bell. Use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes. Take your time.